You know, any modern medicine, any doctor will say chakras, nonsense.
如果你問任何嘅西方醫生咧，佢會聽到你講脈輪，佢覺得你講埋啲廢話嘅啫。
You know, they can dissect the body, they can do X-ray, and they'll never see a chakra.
因為佢可以解剖一個人嘅身體啦，佢可以做晒 X 光照片咧，但係佢都唔會睇到關於脈輪喺邊。
So we've Pooja invited me to work with her. How many years ago?
Since 2005.
Okay.
Yeah.
Since 2005, so 13 years.
由2005年開始咧 ，Pooja 就邀請我，即係13年前啦，就同佢一齊。
Actually, we first met through an astrology session.
其實我哋第一次認識咧，係佢嚟做我一個占星嘅解讀。
Back in 2000.
係2000年嘅時候。
Before she created the center.
當時佢仲未有呢個中心嘅。
So my own training is well, I started to learn about the chakras back in 1985.
我係喺1985年開始學習脈輪嘅系統嘅。
So I learned from several teachers.
我跟過好幾位老師去學。
In Osho Multiversity, which was in America, and then also in India.
咁我咧就係主要喺澳洲嘅多元化大學嗰度學習啦。咁係當時講緊喺美國嘅時間，同埋後來喺印度。
And in the Osho Multiversity, there was different ways of working with the chakras.
喺澳洲多元大學裏邊咧，我哋係有唔同嘅方式去處理關於脈輪相關嘅工作嘅。
And first they were teaching me how to lead the chakra groups. The first one was the heart chakra group.
咁佢哋就教導我咧點樣去帶一個脈輪嘅工作坊。我開始嘅時候學嘅咧係帶心輪。
And they also helped develop the creation of the chakra breathing and Chakra Sound meditations.
我亦都有幫佢哋手咧一齊去設計咧澳洲嘅脈輪呼吸啦，同埋脈輪聲音靜心。
And their way was very much experiential and very intuitive.
佢哋用嘅方式咧係非常之體驗式同埋直覺性嘅。
Later, I also learned with Sāgapriya.
後來咧，我跟另一位老師叫 Sāgapriya。
Who's also written a couple of books. One or two have been translated. One's called The Master's Touch.
佢都有寫過幾本書㗎，咁亦都有被翻譯咗嘅。其中一本叫靈性按摩。
And she was teaching people what's called psychic massage.
佢就係教導啲人咧去使用靈性按摩。
That not just normal traditional massage, but feeling the different energies in the different parts of the body.
呢種唔係普通嘅按摩嚟嘅，而係我哋咧特別去感應咧個身體唔同嘅地方嘅相應嘅能量。
And she set up a system that it's possible to do a reading, an energy reading of the 7 chakras before doing a massage.
而佢亦都設計咗一個方法咧，係令我哋喺做嗰個按摩之前咧，能夠有方法去閱讀嗰個當事人佢嘅7輪嘅狀態。
Then my third major influence about the chakras was the Orasoma system, the colors.
而我第三個咧對我喺脈輪系統上面有影響嘅學問咧，其實就係嚟自 Orasoma 彩油。
It confirmed a lot of what I'd already learned and experienced.
過程中咧，我確認到好多我之前一路已經學到嘅體驗啦、學問啦、知識啦，可以俾我哋用。
So I had those 3 major influences, plus of course my own experience.
咁以上嘅3種咧係我主要嘅對我有影響嘅啦，而且當然加埋我個人嘅經驗。
And also working with people.
同埋我同人多年嚟嘅喺人身上做嘅工，我都能夠咧更加確認啦，同埋從中得到更多嘅資訊。
And then I'm also from experience, like I've done the first chakra group like 40 times in different countries.
咁譬如我自己個人經驗，包括咧我第一脈輪工作坊咧已經喺世界各地唔同嘅國家舉辦超過40次啦。
I see it's been developing, it's been changing because I can refine the techniques.
而一路咧個工作坊都仲係有改善之處嘅，因為我會一路因應個情況咧，將嗰啲技巧咧再更加改善。
In recent years, well actually since the year 2000, I've mostly worked in Russian-speaking countries and Chinese-speaking countries.
由2000年起咧，我比較多嘅工作坊咧，都係喺一啲以俄文作為溝通語言，或者以中文作為溝通語言嘅地方裏面做教學。
If I include Taiwan, then it's even earlier. Then it's another 7 years before that.
忘記咗，如果要我計埋台灣的話咧，其實再早7年前我就已經開始，即係93年就開始啦。
So for some reason, life gives me Russian people and Chinese people.
所以存在唔知某啲嘅原因安排我遇見嘅都係講俄文嘅人或者中國人。
But the chakra system, as you might know, developed in thousands of years ago in India.
脈輪系統可能你都知道啦，係好多千或者甚至上萬年之前喺印度就已經有㗎啦。
But in recent years in the West, it's really getting an upgrade.
但係近年咧喺西方嘅地方咧，就將呢套系統咧直情係將佢升級咗。
Now the way I particularly teach about the chakras is mostly on the emotional and psychological levels.
我最主要喺脈輪呢個工作或者呢個系統裏面嘅教學咧，係聚焦喺心理學或者情緒層面嘅。
When people hear that I work with chakras, sometimes they will think in more traditional ways, like it's something very mystical, very esoteric, something out of touch.
好多時啲人聽到我係教脈輪系統嘅咧，佢哋都會感覺呢樣嘢係傳統嗰個睇法咧係比較神秘嘅，係一啲咧好虛無嘅嘢嚟嘅。
Something to do with visualizations and chanting particular sounds or mantras.
係一啲我哋會要去想像啦，或者做一啲唱誦啦、念咒語啦、發聲嘅一啲嘅功夫。
Or doing particular like yoga postures.
或者甚至乎會做一啲唔同嘅瑜伽式子。
So I've never really been interested in that area of the chakras.
但係脈輪系統呢一方面嘅範疇，其實從來都冇吸引過我嘅。
Much more I work with how the chakras affect us on our daily level.
我比較着重咧係脈輪喺我哋日常生活裏邊點樣影響我哋。
So I think my way is much more practical and more effective in helping everyone in their daily life.
我會話可能我嘅方法咧係比較實際啦，亦都更加適合平常人，幫到佢哋喺日常生活裏面去用翻出嚟。
And over the years I've realized that it's not just the 7 chakras that are very important, but the 3 nadi.
後來我發現咧，原來重要嘅咧唔單止淨係7輪喎，其實仲有3條我哋稱之為管道。
But actually even the Chinese word for chakra also includes understanding of the nadi.
其實中文咧講脈輪呢一個字眼已經係解釋緊俾我哋聽咧，我哋係要去理解埋嗰3個管道嘅重要性。
Because my lun is the circle, but my is the lines. Yeah. So the my.
因為中文脈咧。
Sorry, I can speak a little bit Mandarin, but not Cantonese.
我可以講少少國語，但我唔識講廣東話，唔好意思。
The 7 chakras are connected together by different lines or channels of energy.
我哋嗰7個嘅脈輪咧，其實有一啲嘅線啦，或者脈絡咧，係將佢哋貫通嘅。
So there are 3 major ones that we work with.
我哋有主要3個係我哋會處理嘅。
Which are in the right, the left, and in the middle of the body.
右邊、左邊同埋中間。
So we work with 7 chakras and 3 nadi.
所以我哋係會處理咧7個脈輪啦，3個管道。
And plus sometimes also the whole aura in general.
有時會包括埋我哋整個人嘅氣場添。
So when we practice a session, when we offer an energy consultation, an energy counseling.
咁所以當我哋咧提供一個奧修能量閱讀嘅時候。
Oh yeah. By the way, we put Osho's name there because a lot of the whole system has come out of his teachings.
解釋一下點解我哋會加奧修呢個字喺前邊咧？係因為我哋呢套系統嗰個運作嘅學説，其實好多係基於佢嘅教導。
Even though I mentioned other sources that have helped give me extra information.
頭先我提過咧，有其他嘅源頭嘅地方咧，係俾到一啲額外嘅資訊關於呢個系統俾我。
So attribute that Osho is the major contributor to the understanding of how we can work with the chakras.
我會話咧，都係多得奧修嘅教導咧，會令我哋知道究竟脈輪嘅嗰個運作或者佢嗰個功能係喺點樣嘅層面。
He spoke about the chakras in many different ways.
而我哋有好多個面向可以去解釋關於脈輪嘅。
And if you read Osho over many books, you might get a bit confused.
如果你咧睇奧修咧，佢有好多書啦，可能你會覺得比較混亂。
Because he changes his teaching each time.
因為佢每次嘅教學都有所不同嘅。
And that was a deliberate method.
呢個係佢刻意用嘅技巧。
So that we don't get fixed on a dogma.
等我哋咧唔會就去將一啲嘢定義咗落嚟就固定咗啦。
So the disadvantage of that is that it can be quite confusing.
但係個唔好處就係可能會比較混亂。
But the advantage is that it supports you to keep searching for your own truth.
但係個好處咧就會支持你繼續去尋找屬於你嘅真理。
When I was researching what he has said about the chakras,
當我咧去做研究啦，去揾下究竟佢講脈輪關於啲乜嘢咧
I came across a very important teaching,
我就遇到佢有一個好重要嘅教學。
in which is said that an authentic master always deliberately teaches one mistake.
佢會話一個真正嘅師傅，一個真正嘅老師咧，佢永遠喺佢教學上面都會刻意去講一樣錯嘅嘢。
So he might be talking for several hours about a certain thing, but inside that he will say one or two sentences which are completely wrong.
佢可能會講好幾個鐘頭關於一個題目嘅嘢啦，但係喺嗰幾個鐘頭裏邊咧，佢會有1至2樣嘢咧，佢係完全刻意去講錯俾你聽嘅。
He knows it's wrong.
佢知道係錯㗎。
But he does it as a test.
但係佢呢個就係一個測試嚟嘅。
Because then if the disciples go and do their meditation,
因為當個門徒啦，佢嘅徒弟咧會跟住就去做靜心嘅話
then they come back and they report, oh yes, this is what I experienced, and they include in their report that deliberate mistake.
咁佢哋翻嚟匯報就會講翻俾師傅聽啦。我體驗到嘅咧其實係咁，當中必定會包括嗰樣錯嘅地方。
Then the master knows that the disciple wasn't really meditating correctly.
係咁咧，個師傅因此就會知道啦。其實呢個徒弟並冇真正做得正確嘅靜心。
Because if it was correct, they would come back and say, hey, that was different. I experienced something different.
因為如果佢真係做得啱嘅話，佢翻嚟就會話俾師傅聽，我體驗到嘅同你講嘅唔同喎。
So and then in other times, Osho talked about sometimes the hara is the second chakra, and sometimes he said it's not.
奧修咧有時會話咧，我哋嘅丹田就係第二脈輪，有時佢會話丹田唔係第二脈輪嘅。
So over time, me and my teachers, we sort of got together a common idea of what Osho was trying to teach us.
咁所以慢慢咧，久而久之，我同我啲老師咧，我哋就開始知道究竟其實奧修講緊嘅係啲乜嘢。
So, for example, now I'll say the hara dantian is not the same system as the chakras.
譬如而家我會去解釋丹田咧，其實同脈輪系統係並不一樣嘅嘢嚟㗎。
But there is a connection. The energy of dantian is similar to the energy of the center of each chakra.
但係佢個功能係唔同，在於咧丹田就係我哋每一個，猶如我哋每一個脈輪嗰個中心點一樣。
But all the meridians of Chinese medicine is different than the chakra system, chakra nadis.
就正如咧喺中醫佢哋講嘅我哋嘅經脈嘅個系統咧，同我哋講脈輪嘅系統其實同樣都唔係同一樣嘅嘢嚟㗎。
There's actually another teacher who's written some very nice books called Barbara Ann Brennan.
仲有一個老師叫 Barbara Ann Brennan， 佢都寫咗一啲好有趣嘅書嘅。
And she explains that the dantian and the chakras exist in the same location but on a different dimension.
佢嘅解釋咧就話咧脈輪啦同埋丹田咧，其實佢哋係同一個位置，不過喺唔同嘅層次嗰度，唔同嘅層面嗰度。
So anyway, we can't, any modern medicine, any doctor will say chakras, nonsense.
如果你問任何嘅西方醫生咧，佢會聽到你講脈輪，佢覺得你講埋啲廢話嘅啫。
Because they can dissect the body, they can do X-ray, and they'll never see a chakra.
因為佢可以解剖一個人嘅身體啦，佢可以做晒 X 光照片啊，但係佢都唔會睇到關於脈輪喺邊度。
But same Western medicine cannot find the meridians of Chinese medicine.
就正如西方醫學亦都冇辦法揾到中醫佢哋講緊嘅經脈喺邊度。
But now in the West, they permit, or even many hospitals include acupuncture because it works.
但係而家好多西方嘅醫院咧，佢哋都接納針灸嘅，因為佢哋知道係有效嘅。
So from their science, they have to say it's nonsense.
從科學角度，佢哋要話呢樣嘢係廢話。
But from practice, they have to say, well, if it's working for people, let's use it.
但係實際嘅層面咧，佢又會發覺，如果真係有效嘅話，我哋又一定要用喎。
So we could see this chakra system in a similar way.
咁我哋可以用一個相類似嘅角度去理解脈輪系統。
In the consultation, me or one of my people I've trained, we will do an energy reading of your chakras.
喺一個諮詢嘅過程啦，我或者我訓練出嚟嘅嗰啲諮詢師咧，佢就會去閱讀你嘅身體嘅脈輪嘅能量。
And it's a bit similar like having an X-ray or MRI scan.
情況就有啲似咧，幫你做一個 X 光或者係磁力共振咁樣嘅。